Find the correct match. Leucoplasts are colorless carbohydrate which carries out a storage of food. Food can be stored in the form of carbohydrate in amyloplast, aleuroplastose proteins, and helioplasts store lipids. Pyrenids are special structures present in chloroplast of algae which store starch. So the correct match is option B. Aleuroplast store proteins. Pericardium is. The pericardium is a tough double-layered fibrous serous sac which covers the heart. The space between the two layers of the serous pericardium, the pericardial cavity is filled with serous fluid which protects the heart from any kind of external jerk or shock. So the answer is option A, double-walled membranous bag. Chlorophyceae are grass green due to the dominant of pigment. Chlorophyceae are commonly called as green algae. Their main pigment is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, and the auxiliary pigments is beta carotene and xanthophyll. So the answer is option B, chlorophyll B and A. Which of the following is correct regarding tricuspid valve? It prevents blood from flowing back into the right atrium during contraction of the ventricle. The tricuspid valve is one of the two main valves on the right side of your heart. Normally, the tricuspid valve has three flaps. It is generally called as leaflets that open and close, allowing blood to flow from the right atrium to the right ventricle in your heart and preventing blood from flowing backward. So the answer is all of these. Option D. Migration of dash towards the two opposite pole is the characteristic feature of the anaphase during mitosis. During anaphase of mitosis, kinetochores are pulled apart by spindle fibers. As a result, centromere splits and chromatids are separated. These chromatids are known as daughter chromosomes, which starts moving towards opposite poles. So the answer is option A, single chromatid chromosome. Select the option with correct labeling. Arteries carries blood away from the heart where it branches into even small vessels called as arterioles and further branches into small capillaries where the exchange of nutrients and other waste molecule occurs. Veins carry blood away towards the heart where it branches into even smaller vessels called as venules and further branches into a small capillaries. Compared to arteries, veins are thin walled. So the correctly matching option is option A. 1 is labeled as epithelial tissue, second one is smooth muscle, third connective tissue, fourth valve, fifth one is labeled that is capillaries. The structures that remain separate with forming a layer is cells or neurons are the structural and functional units of nerve system. These cells do not form any layer and are structurally separated by getting associated with the auxiliary cells. So the answer for this question is option C, nerve cells. The statements are given below suits for. Insects are most successful because they show specific structural and morphological adaptations that permit them escape from the predators, natural dispersals, and resisting environmental changes as they have a protective shell or exoskeleton, a small size, ability to fly, capacity to produce a large number of offspring quickly. So the correctly matching option is option B, insects. The statement is true regarding Km. Michaelis and Menton in the year of 1913 introduced a constant Km that is generally called as Michaelis constant. It is a mathematical derivative or constant which indicates the substrate concentration at which the chemical reaction catalyzed by an enzyme attains of its maximum velocity. It is generally called as Vmax. Km indicates the affinity of the enzyme for its substrate. So the answer is option D, all of these. An individual molecular structure within an antigen to which an individual antibody binds is as an. Antigens are the exogenous substances, that is toxin components of the pathogen or foreign particle that enters into the body and stimulates the production of antibodies. They are mainly proteins present on the surface of cells, microbes such as bacteria, viruses. Combining sites of antigen called as antigenic determinant or epitopes react with the corresponding antigen binding sites of the antibodies called as paratopes. So the answer is option B, epitope. Which of the following is incorrect statement? Vascular bundles in dicastem is called as open as it consists of cambium which causes secondary growth. In dicastem, endodermis is deposited with starch sheath. Intravascular cambium is present inside vascular bundle between xylem and phloem, thus is the primary in origin. All tissues which lies outside the vascular cambium is called as bark. So the answer is option D. All tissues lying inside vascular cambium are called as bark. That is incorrect statement. Bombyx, Culex and Limulus belongs to. An arthropod is an invertebrate animal that has an exoskeleton, a segmented body and jointed appendages. The following families of organisms are all examples of arthropods: insects such as ants, dragonflies and bees, arachnids such as spiders and scorpions, myriapods, a term which means many feet, such as centipedes and millipedes, crustaceans such as crabs, lobsters and shrimp. So the answer is option A, the largest phylum of Animalia.